Welcome to this live stream where we talk about the best genre film of the year. It's called Psycho Goreman.
A lovely Gygaxian coming of age tale. I have the standard edition because I waited too long to buy the hunky boy edition. So I have the regular, but still lots of good special features on this one too.
You want to know something? It's funny. I when I messaged you to do this with me online, I asked you if you had seen it, and I forgot that you were one of the people. When this popped up, I was like, it was limited to 2,000, and I was like, do I blind buy this? Because just rave reviews. Am I going to be like smart about this, or am I going to be stupid? And you were one of the people who actually said to me, I had forgotten that, who had said to me, hey, you need to own this movie.
I rented it on VOD. I could not wait to watch it, and I did not regret my purchase at all. And again, like I revisited once more into the fray with this Blu-ray, and I was smiling the whole time. So I love that cover so much. Isn't that so cool?
It's just it sets the tone. It sets the tone for what you're going to see, and I love it. I'm just showing. Listen, this is not to make you jelly in any way, because I know you want this edition. I just want to show you what's inside because I figured you would appreciate it. So please do not take that as any other way. They gave you this thing. You said you ordered the glasses, right?
I went to plasticmeatball.com and I ordered the drinking glasses. I cannot wait to get those. Yes.
They have action figures too.
Yes, those figures are
figure set.
A lot of their stuff is sold out, like the crazy balls and the towels and the beach towels or whatever. It's crazy.
Let's take a look at these. Yeah, let's look at these. It's not just card, it's cards. Hold on, let's take a look at these cards real quick. And again, this is not. I really hope this is not coming off as flunt. Just wanted to look at them.
No. Okay. I'm not petty like that.
Okay, I appreciate that. This.
I want to see what's in it. So
that's one of the cards. That's Pandora, and we're going to talk about her. Obviously, that's PG Goreman, Psycho Goreman himself. Mm-hmm. This is Mimi right here. This was genius idea to put cards in the.
I love it.
This is BioCop, which I didn't realize. BioCop is from a fake trailer that they had done.
Right. Astron 6 did a fake trailer for a movie called BioCop. And when I saw the movie the first time, I was like, wait a minute. That's kind of like BioCop. And it is BioCop. Then there's Luke.
And on the backs, they have bios, but I'm not going to get into that because I can't see with these sunglasses on. They have like little bio things. Can you explain what Astron 6 is for anybody who's not aware exactly?
Astron 6 is a Canadian Monty Python for genre film nerds of the last 25 years.
Wow. That was a perfect description.
Like legit. And they're among my favorite filmmakers of all time. They did a trauma film called Father's Day, which is one of the greatest low-budget genre films of all time. No offense to Trauma, but better than any Trauma film ever made. They out-Traumaed Trauma. And then they did a really awesome Giallo homage called The Editor, which is another great
that film. Is them as well. Holy crap.
Yes. And they also did the guy who directed this film did a movie called Manborg, which is almost all stop-motion animation.
I have not watched it yet. I bought that. I rescued that from a Blockbuster. The last time I was ever in a Blockbuster, I bought a copy of Manborg just for the title. I saw the title and I bought it for 99 cents. I was like, I just have to own this on. Mm-hmm. And I'm still haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure I will.
It's a very fun film. It's made for like $1,000, I think, but it's so much fun, so much energy and humor. And they also did The Void. Kostanski and Gillespie did The Void. Their most recent film up until Psycho Goreman. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I have to say, this is, and you know what's funny? I can understand why this is Nathan porn, because this is like, I feel like this is the film, the magical film that you're always striving to like have at Genreblast.
Genreblast, yes.
Right? Does
Psycho
that make
Goreman,
sense?
like Psycho Goreman or like Turbo Kid, like those are
Yeah.
the movies that we are. I'm just gonna say I love. They're so
Right.
entertaining. Hobo with a shotgun, you know, that kind of stuff. It's just
they're
so
all
entertaining.
Yeah. Which explains your love and admiration, rightfully so, for what is it,
Lieutenant Jangles?
Yeah, which is very much in that vein, I would say as well. I would put that firmly in that paradigm. I had no idea what to expect. I literally knew nothing. I never seen a trailer. I had only seen the cover art, and I had heard people talking about it. I try to avoid trailers if I can, mostly in general. Or at least I'll watch like the first trailer to a movie that's coming out, but I don't want to see no second or third trailer. Keep that stuff away.
Right.
So I knew nothing. I literally went into this blind. I had no idea what to expect. And holy hell, what a script. What the creativity. And what's funny, I'm going, this is just like W is for Wish in ABCs of Death 2. And sure enough, same director, same writer. This is an extension of that in many ways, So
absolutely. This is like, I think I posted this in my initial thoughts on Facebook. It's like if Saban, who did the Power Rangers, if they got hold of like a Hellraiser script and they decided to make it, it's like Power Rangers meets like Hellraiser, Wishmaster. It's so much fun. And if you're between 30 and 45, this is your sweet spot right here, is this film. It's not necessarily laugh out loud funny. There are definitely moments where I laughed out loud, but this is the best way I can describe it, is that there's a smile on your face the entire time you're watching it. Like this is perfect. The tone is perfect. The acting is perfect. Adam Brooks is so funny as the deadbeat dad.
So great.
It's very accurate too. I mean, I know people like that. So the family dynamic in this movie could have been just a throwaway, but they go all in on the humor.
Quirky. It's so quirky,
and it's almost the crux of the film. What are your impressions? What were you expecting, and what did you actually, how did you feel after watching it?
Well, I'll say this: I watched this alone in my living room today, and there were moments where I was just laughing out loud by myself, like from just so many, like every line is almost instantly quotable. Like I wrote some of them down. We'll get to that. And again, I didn't really know what to expect. I was surprised that we got as much. So you know what? Okay, here's what I really loved about it more than anything. It doesn't set up its universe's rules. It just pulls out a new rule every time it feels like it, as it's convenient for the story. And an example, just out of nowhere, we need Psycho Goreman to be hurt. So of course they saved some of his blood from that war and they poisoned their blades with it and then used it on him. And now he's really sick. Just stuff like that. They have this whole mythology just weaved throughout the thing, but it's like throwaway mythology. Like none of it means anything or matters. And when they reference it, it's spectacular. And the whole movie is a feast for the eyes. Like every time they do this. There we are. Can't panic. Just a little blip. We're okay. We're back.
Got my face for the screen.
Did you hear anything I just said?
I heard you up until you said something about, this is a feast for the eyes, and then that was it.
Gotcha. It's a feast for the eyes where when you go to these fantastical elements, like for instance, the circle of the guild of alien creatures that want to stop Psycho Goreman. Like you want to scrutinize every creature in that room. There's a lizard person. There's a guy with a jar on his head and he's just a brain. There's blue spaghetti noodles that are meant to be shared on the table. It's just great.
This is almost like a throwback to a lot of 80s science fantasy films like Crawl and Masters of the Universe and all those films where there's all these amazing creatures and effects on display and you see them for maybe 30 seconds. And you're like, wait a minute, I want to see the guy with the fish head. You know what I mean?
Right.
Again, a little bit.
Right.
And so it was definitely a third. These guys love those kind of films, I'm sure. And there could be a whole line of action figures for this film. If it becomes a huge cult. There's two. There's the Paladin, there's Psycho Goreman, but like the Paladin's Obsidian, you know, Psycho Goreman's old running buddies, and then the whole Galactic Council, like you were saying in that room, like every character. I mean, come on. Like the creature designs in this film are a thing of beauty, and I was in love with every one of them.
There was a vat of body parts that had legs and machine gun hands.
It's like straight out of Warhammer 40K. It's just like a tub of blood, shooting blood,
but shooting blood at the same time, and you're not really sure. Like, he does shoot blood at Psycho Goreman, and Psycho Goreman's just like, what? Like, it's just. And then there's poor Vince. Like, poor Vince gets like you know, Psycho Goreman. Like, that's the thing. Like, there's no limit to what he can do, and he can do anything that's convenient for the script to keep us entertained. Because the other thing too is you're like, where is this going? And every time I'm questioning in my head, where is this film going? But not out of boredom, just out of wonderment. They're like, here's a shiny new toy for you to obsess about for 2 seconds, and then it's on to the next thing. And it's just, man, like, I bet you that played so well at festivals, and you know, with a packed audience. I wish I had seen it at the Alamo. If my Alamo was open, I would have. Man, that would have been just the bee's knees. Did you see Greener Grass or Grass Greener? Have you heard of this genre film?
It sounds very familiar. I have not seen it though. Tell me what it's about.
It's on Hulu, and I highly, especially for you, must see this film. Like, immediately seek this film out. It is the same sort of quirky weirdness. Like, for instance, the humor with the knock Morse code communication that the whole family can do inexplainably. It's the same sort of thing, except taken to the nth degree. If you like this sort of stuff, it's just a whole lot of weird. It's just a town where everybody has braces and drives golf carts, and it's never explained. It's never explained why. Like, that's just part of the world. Everybody has braces. Husbands, wives, children, and they all drive around in golf carts. And that's just the world that they live in. And everybody wears pastels. It's called Greener Grass. It's the weirdest, super bizarre. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of this because, you know, there are these fantastical elements or these crazy elements where the parents kind of just turn to each other and they go, eh, or, oh, it's probably a wino, or, you know, like, like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, there's this weird demon, there's this demon alien that's like become a part of the family, and we're kind of okay with it. And I don't know.
I like that Psycho Goreman does not lose his edge by begrudgingly loving the family. He's like,
right,
you guys are safe, but I'm still gonna murder the shit out of everybody else.
right. And I want every sequel to this film. I feel like you could go endlessly anywhere, and you really can't do wrong. And again, you know, they really do make the world feel so big by every time they bring in a character. You know what it kind of reminded me of too? It's kind of like that talk in Blade Runner. You know, Rutger Hauer. He's talking about the beams glistening, the beams glistening off of Orion's shoulder, and yada yada yada. And you can imagine the Blade Runner universe is so much bigger than it really is, and you get that feeling in this movie too.
Oh yeah, there's a really funny cutaway when they're at the diner and they're eating, and he goes, I remember the battle on the Bridge of Souls, and Mimi's like, yeah, anyways, like, but they actually cut to him like kind of speeder, like about to engage in battle. That was a very funny gag. I like that a lot.
Oh, that was just like, and it was like when he's talking about the worms. That worm was, I have it quoted here, that worm was a good man. It's just so full, like, it's literally chock full of moments. You can't you can't go wrong with that.
No,
I'm getting a
sorry.
Feedback from your I think your sound. So wait, no. Now I'm good.
Okay.
Maybe I'm haunted.
Maybe it's me. I don't know.
No, everything's cool again. Go ahead. Talk.
There's no drag in this film at all. The entire film moves. It's 90 minutes or whatever. There's not one part, like there's a lot of movies that I love revisiting where you get to that part, that 15-minute stretch where you're like, I can go to the bathroom and get a beer and I'm not missing anything.
Right.
This film has got jokes galore and creature effects and world building for the entire 90 minutes. And, the kids' performances are hilarious. Mimi is great, is a fantastic character.
Oh, they carry the film. These kids carry the film.
They carry the film, and Psycho Goreman can never remember Luke's name, which is a very funny gag. They just calls him Boy.
Boy.
But Mimi and Luke are the center of the film, and they are very funny. They're not annoying. They're not bad kid actors. They're all everyone in this movie is super well cast and just very impressive, to be honest.
Yep.
The movies that they're homaging we're never on this level as far as performances are concerned. So kudos to them for being able to cast a film this well. Just amazing.
And I wondered, I was like, when does this film take place? Does this film take place in the 90s? Is it because he mentions he fought in the Iraq War?
The late 90s? I think it's like the mid-late 90s because they're playing N64 and they're talking about an N64 game like it just came out. So I'm assuming this is like late 90s.
So did he mean the Gulf War? Because he says the Iraq War.
Yeah, the Gulf War. From the early 90s.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing.
So, all the TVs are tube TVs from the 90s. So
nobody's using a smartphone or anything. So it's got to be
very true.
Yep.
Let's go to the notes. I'm just gonna write. This is chronological through the whole movie. I only have a couple pages here.
Notes galore.
These moments that I think are just so great. I wrote the first note I wrote was start your movie with an inciting incident, because that's what this film wastes no time with, just starting us off with, they find this gem in the backyard. Boom. You don't need, and it's a lesson really that I need to learn myself personally. Just start your film. Just start it.
Get going.
You don't have to. You could establish your characters and whatnot, like they say you're supposed to, but you could also do this and just start your have a game of crazy ball and then start your film immediately and just go for it.
Don't forget the amazing crawl at the beginning of the movie where they talk about Psycho
Goreman's
backstory. He doesn't have a name. Basically, he's just an intergalactic warlord that can destroy the galaxy that has been imprisoned on our planet by a bunch of soulless bureaucrats. But
you know what? They explain everything that's in that crawl. Kind of gets explained in the movie. Like we didn't even need the crawl.
True. I think it was probably more for like flair, like style.
Yeah, it was absolutely for style.
Absolutely. But you're right. It's a little redundant, but it's so stylish that I think it doesn't matter.
We talked about the Morse code thing, which is great, and lets us know immediately that the family is that we're living in a kooky world here. Like that, besides the fact that Luke is digging a hole because he lost a game to his sister and has to bury himself alive in it. And then Dad fakes a hand injury to avoid. I thought they never say it in the movie, but it's just something I would do. Fake an injury and then go lay on the couch.
Yes, Adam Brooks is so good in this role, and that's a running gag that pays off later in the film when he fractures his arm for real, and he's like, "You need to drive me to the hospital." Oh
man, you're so right. You know what? I was like, I think they're implying that he faked it. No, you actually have it right. That was the setup for the payoff later that he actually does hurt his hand.
Later,
yes. Okay.
One of my favorite lines in the film is later after they dig up the grave or whatever. They get the gem from his body.
Right.
They're going to bed and they're tapping on the walls, and that's how they communicate, because they set up Crazy Ball. They set up the fact they communicate via taps all very quickly, so that was cool.
Right.
And then via taps, he's like, the son is like, what what do you think that was? Was that grandma? And which is a funny line. But then she goes, no, I told you grandma is in hell forever.
Dude, I must have missed that line. I think I missed that. That's hilarious.
It's one funny line on top of another funny line. It was very well done.
But that's it. They literally keep, like, on top of every visual thing they have going for them in this film, they just follow it up with these incredible lines. I said the kids are awesome. I said they carry the movie. I said I love this family. We talked about the wino. We talked about the round table of creatures. I love the one, and this is such a small little detail, but like in all of those sci-fi films that you're talking about, there's always, like, not in all of them, but like, I just love that one of the creatures, like that main creature guy, is fanning himself. Mm-hmm. It's just such a nice little touch of like what you would see. Like, I'd imagine that from like being like from Flash Gordon or something, you know, I don't know, just some little, that was just a nice little detail. And when they're in the Templar, like fortress or whatever, man, they use some matte paintings, man. There are some serious matte paintings going on. And I got matte painting boners for days just watching those matte paintings. I was like, I love me a matte painting. They
utilized every single possible avenue of effects for this film, whether it was practical effects, costume, you know, latex, you know, animatronic puppets, you know, everything, matte paintings, CGI, it's all in there, and it's amazing. The symphony of special effects, and I love it.
The girl, she gets compressed into a cube, and we learn immediately that Pandora does not care for humans. She's not a good guy.
Nobody cares for humans at all.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, you're right. Nobody really. Even the humans don't care for humans. Nobody cares for humans.
That's why I guess that's why they dumped Psycho Goreman on this planet, because it's a backwater, and nobody would look for him here. But that's another funny line is when they're in bed again, and Luke goes, "Are there monsters for real?"
Yeah.
And then that dad goes, "Well, humans are the real monsters." So I guess in a way, yes.
And then you get these robber characters at the beginning just to show us like what Psycho Goreman can do. And they're just like, that's funny in and of itself. They're just like these three weird, quirky robbers that have like, you know, they're arguing over picture frames. And he's like, please don't kill me. I'm not ready to die. And he does the reverse of killing him. He's like, then live forever. But it's like, he like makes the guy, like he sends the guy into this, like, what is it? Like, it's like an infinity of eternity or something.
Like a stasis of torture or whatever, where he's just, his body
his
can't
eyeballs
move.
are spinning in the back of his head. He's just like, kill me, please.
This movie is brutally violent, but it's so funny that, like, I mean, they kill kids in this movie, and
they do,
but it's all done for laughs, so it's okay.
Oh, I was laughing every time. That was the one time we were talking about this on a previous show at some point about how movies with, you know, where kids get hurt is what, you know, the kryptonite, but this is really
when it's
funny.
Played for laughs, it's different. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, totally. Fan alien covers the eyes of Brain Man. So at one point when they're seeing some gore and he's covering his eyes
over the glass.
Over the glass. It was great. I said good guys don't give a shit about humans. Oh, I love that Psycho Goreman. I mean, I'd like to think that Psycho Goreman is actually probably like pansexual. But I just love that he was down, like just interested in hunky guys. Just had me rolling on the floor laughing.
I have no interest in hunky boys, or do I?
Yeah, that was just so great. And you know, it just came from a place of like, it came from a place of just such open-mindedness. Like he legitimately had this open dialogue in his head where he was like, well, maybe I do. And he thought about it out loud. It just had me. Man, that just had me like I said, that line, every line could be put on a t-shirt and they could sell 1 million of them, you know?
Absolutely. When they're fighting at the end in the warehouse and the magazines get knocked over with the hunky boys in the magazines, he goes, not my hunky boy.
yeah. And it gets like ripped at the very end. They say, what are you? He said, Luke says, what are you? And Psycho Goreman says, That is a tale bathed in the blood of 1,000,000 dead memories. It's really, really
and they kept
funny.
Psycho Goreman straight, except for a couple straight, as in the straight man in comedy, except
Right.
for a couple lines
right.
here and there, and it worked well. This guy is dangerous, and he wants to murder everybody, and he can't. He has the power to do it, but the girl has the gem and can control him, which is great because this guy will kill these kids for real. Like it's not like a Hollywood thing where they'll be I can't do it. He will kill them
in a heartbeat. He calls them brainless meat children. At one point, he's like, brainless meat children.
There's a lot of good insults in this movie. Yes.
Oh, phenomenal. Dad microwaves chicken, which just painted set like just hearing. Just the idea of like microwaving, not as like a reheating method, but to cook is is terrifying to me. Microwave the chicken.
It's like, oh, you microwave the chicken. They're all at dinner. He made a big show about making dinner, and
you just microwave the chicken.
Like, oh, it brings the flavor out. That's what he said. It really brings the flavor.
And then they're talking about playing guns in the forest, and Dad is just totally okay with that. That just doesn't even bat an eyelash to his two small 10-year-old children. And Alistair, he's eating dinner. Alistair is the boy next door that Mimi has a crush on, sort of has a crush on. And she says, "Don't you want to play with me?" And he goes, "No, I just want to play some vids." That's it, just abbreviated vids. I thought that was funny.
Vids. Yep. Alistair has a great interaction with Psycho Goreman when they bring him to the warehouse and they go through the whole spiel, and he's like, "Oh, all right, well, nice to meet you." Just very deadpan. Psycho Goreman says, "It would be better if you were dead."
Yeah. Oh no, I think it was the other way around. I think he says it would be better if you were dead, and he says, "Okay, it was nice to meet." I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think he says it was nice to meet you. I think, and then he says.
I just remember the kid being like nonchalant towards the menace of. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Then Alistair gets turned into the brain monster, and
which is just
nobody seems to notice. There's not one person that reacts to him. Yeah,
nobody cares.
One of the end credit scenes is him coming to dinner. He just gets his parents call him to dinner, and just sits down and eats. And there's nothing. They just eat.
Which is great. That's like that. But that's that. I don't even know what you call that. Like it's beyond quirky. It's like it's not surrealism in the sense of the way you think of surrealism. It's like what kind of humor is that? It's just like quirky surrealist humor. I don't know. Like I hate using those adjectives to describe something like that.
Well, they definitely play with expectations in this film. Like you're expecting people to go, "Oh my God, there's this hideous brain monster." Nobody reacts. There's a great scene towards the end of the film where the dad, Adam Brooks, is in the car, and all he has to do is get out of the car, and and leave Psycho Goreman alone in the truck so the paladin can kill him. And of course, he sides with Mimi because they're the two characters that make all the wrong choices in the film, and they drive away. It's supposed to be like in any other movie, this would be the big moment where the characters take a stand and you save their friend and they back away. But in this movie, it's inverted. It's the wrong choice because even though the paladins are terrible people, if they kill Psycho Goreman, they'll just go away. And then the world gets to go back to normal. But Psycho Goreman is saved and now is going to destroy the world. So except for that.
I mean, and his origin is like insane. Like he was born a slave and he discovers this crystal that has warlock power. It's like, you know what it is? Every single element of the mythology is like, it's just like generic fantasy. That's what it is. It's just pure. They're just using these purely generic, fantastical concepts in order to, kind of like, in a flashy kind of way. And it totally works. I can't explain it. There's also this line, "Champions don't eat broccoli," which I thought would go great on a t-shirt too.
We got to talk about two songs in this film.
Oh, yes.
We got to talk about Frig Off, and we also have to talk about PG for short, which is the end credit song, which is,
yes.
If you like the Ninja Turtles rap from the end of the first Ninja Turtles movie, this song is for you.
I don't, again, mean to flaunt this, but I believe I have both of those songs on the soundtrack is on
nice.
This thing here is the soundtrack. It's a compact disc. I'm assuming it has the songs. I was not expecting it to be a 3-disc set. I thought it was just the 2 discs. And so I think it's got both. I'm hoping it has both of those songs on it. That's a nice little bonus.
That's very cool.
And I mean, it goes into full-on montage mode with this song, and it's great.
That's so cool. Yes, my choice for a t-shirt, like a line on a t-shirt, would be "I'm the heckin' best." That is like the best line. Frig all the rest. Like that would be my t-shirt. I
like that.
Absolutely. I love that song.
There's a throwaway. It's on the TV, I think. There's a no, it's not on the TV, but they're just talking about it. It's just like it's such an afterthought in the movie. They're talking about pubes in a bag for $5. And what would they were saying, well, what would they do with the bag of pubes? And I answered the question. Obviously, whoever bought the bag of pubes would glue them to their face, so they look like they have a beard, or under their armpit, that kind of thing. Yes, Joe, we're currently live and we're talking about Psycho Goreman.
Yes, we are.
For those of you who are expecting Misfits tonight, that has been pushed. I scheduled tonight for my friend Nathan. I wanted to accommodate his schedule so he could be on here with me. And tomorrow night we'll be doing the Devil Lock pageant. If you could only imagine what that is, Nathan.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Here's the quote. "Those were good people, those worms," when he's talking about a story about the worms. He's telling like an anecdote from his battles, and he mentions that those worms were good people.
Yeah.
And then dad's upset about his lucky bat getting broken in two, and doesn't even notice Psycho Goreman there.
Yes. Until he's right up on him, yeah.
What would you pair this movie with? If you could do a double feature, what would be your double feature movie to put with Psycho Goreman? I'll tell you mine.
If you're going contemporary, just like something recent, I would definitely do like if you want to do non-Astron 6, I would do like Turbo Kid, which is another kind of like Canadian,
right,
crazy gore-filled genre film. If we're talking about pairing it with something that was back in the day,
right,
I would definitely go with something like either Masters of the Universe or, gosh, maybe just straight up Krull, like I mentioned, because those are crazy enough films, I think.
Okay, this is mine.
I'm waiting for yours. I want to know yours.
It's Disney's Aladdin.
You know what?
Straight up. I'm not even joking.
Feature with Wishmaster also. Wishmaster, Psycho Goreman, and Aladdin. I like that.
Sure.
I like that.
I immediately thought in my head as I'm watching this movie, I said this would be so perfect with Aladdin. That's the double. I'd start off with Aladdin and then I would do Psycho Goreman to finish up.
If you want to go really crazy, you could do Mr. Destiny.
Oh my God.
With Jim Belushi.
Oh wow. Love becomes the power that powers Psycho Goreman outside of the stone, and like anything, just like Interstellar. That's what Interstellar and Psycho Goreman have in common, that love is the greatest power of the universe. And and I love that. I honestly love that. I love that in both of those films. A lot of people hate on Interstellar, but I thought that was the most beautiful part of the film, was just the idea that love is that powerful and can transcend time and space. And I like to think that what else could power Psycho Goreman besides a gem filled with ancient alien warlock power? Love. Perfect.
Either or,
Yeah, it's perfect.
It works.
I had a question about poor Vince. We talked about Vince becomes basically he's like an ode to Biocop, which is another Astron 6 thing. But then Vince basically becomes like a zombie slave to Psycho Goreman, who wishes he was dead. And and it was his birthday. Did you pick up that it was his birthday?
Yes, I did.
Like, there's a cake that says "Happy Birthday, Vince," and they come back to be like, Vince is dead, and they just like never mentioned again. It's Vince's birthday.
Yes, and he gives when they're walking through the woods, he gives Mimi a note that's like shaped like a heart, and he's like, "Oh, for me."
Right.
And open it up, and written in blood, it says, "Please kill me."
Right. Please kill me. Right.
Because he's a thrall to Psycho Goreman, where he's like pustules and he's decaying on the outside, and he's got his gun, his policeman gun is fused to his hand like Tetsuo.
Videodromed.
Videodromed.
Yes. You know? Straight up. Hail to the new flesh.
Hail to the new flesh.
And then you have Cassius 3000, which literally, when he deadpan says, I trusted every one of you except you, Cassius.
Cassius 3000.
I never like. It's just, you want to know what the backstories of every one of these goofy ass alien characters with these crazy names. They're all Power Rangers villains, and it's just it's so spectacular. It's so spectacular, and it's so simple. Put a bunch of guys in rubber suits in the woods and have them fight. Super gory. It just works.
It's like straight out of like Versus or something like that. They even have like a Japanese themed monster called Witchmaster who tries to rip off his head. There's a really cool scene where she almost rips off Psycho Goreman's head, and then he just rips hers off. So that was that whole scene was great.
She rips his head off, but then he like reverses his head back so that like it doesn't rip off. And Vince deflates, and then we learn about the warrior's death, which is set up previously when they're sitting in the diner. They're talking about eating, and he's like, well, eating is a part of an honor code, and just setting us up for some of the best gags later on in the film, you know, which are it's just great. It's just really, really great. Oh, one of them is called Dark Scream. Dark Scream is the name of the lackey that poisons PG with his own blood.
Yes.
Dad, this was a great detail. Dad is watching Cowboy Pat on TV. Like again, these are these opportunities where we could just do a really quick throwaway gag, like a one note, like a one beat thing. You need to see a head flying through the room, and he's watching Cowboy Pat inexplicably. And I just love that more than the head itself. So I thought that was pretty great. Find me or you all die. I don't know why I wrote this. Find me or you all die.
After they kill all of the paladins of Obsidian in the forest, they're stuck because they don't have a car. So
yeah,
they contact the dad when he's at home. Psycho Goreman contacts him in the bathroom.
Oh, right.
Shit. And his head comes through like a message thing, and he's like, "Find us!" And then
right. And then the directions. I was trying to remember why I wrote that down. Okay.
And then he's like, "But I don't know where you are." And he's like, "Dad, we're on the corner of whatever and whatever."
Right.
And he goes away again. And he's like, "But where is that?" And then he comes back. He's go straight and then go.
And Dad is mad at Susan, which I think is hilarious. Which is hilarious because Susan calls him lazy.
Yes, there's a marital troubles, and which leads to some really funny and awkward stuff towards the end of the film, which I really enjoyed.
And we also get a sitcom heart to heart with Dad, where he basically encourages, like, this family. The family values are, as you said, it's always do the wrong thing. Where he's like, look, one time when I was younger, there was a guy in a white van, and he told me he had a lot of baseball cards, and it turns out he was right. So trust creepy strangers.
I forgot all about that line. That was a great line.
It was just so, and it had the heart to heart, like Full House, Family Matters, swelling music, and it was just excellent, man.
I like the whole station full of cops that would have been the main characters in any other movie. Like they've all got personalities, and they're there for one scene, and then they're never seen again. Right.
The guy, the Santa Claus cop who's playing with the paper chip chain. And he's like, he just doesn't even care. And then we get this talk with Christ, and it was a very weird sort of like stab at religion for like 2 seconds, which did not really fit in with the movie, in my opinion, personally. Like, it just felt like jabbed in there, or it was just like too in your face. Like what is this? Are you saying something about how you don't like religion? Like, what was the point of this? We kind of just got the same beat with the father-daughter pep talk. So why do we need this, sort of like thing with Christianity? It was a little weird.
I think it was just another facet of Mimi's character where she's getting out of control, where she is just getting too big for her britches, and then she kind of has the moment where she actually apologizes to her brother, because she's right up until the end of the movie, she's a pretty shitty person. Like, she's very selfish.
Yeah,
she's almost the antagonist of the film, not Psycho Goreman, and because she bullies her brother, and she's just very demanding and selfish, and there's probably some sort of abuse going on in a way, and it probably comes from the fact that the dad encourages her. And the son kind of sides with the mother.
Does she change? She doesn't change at all.
She doesn't necessarily change, but she ends up having a better relationship with her brother by the end of the film. She does realize that she's been shitty to him.
Or was that always there? Like, the fact that she's able to apologize is something that's built in and just hadn't kicked in yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she does seem to, at first, I wrote down at first that, like, oh, she's like, she refuses to apologize. She's just going to sing a song, and that's her way of apologizing, about frigging. And then she actually does apologize when they're tapping. She taps it out. So I think that's character growth. I do. I think that's a little bit of character growth. I mean, the movie ends right after that, so it's not like we get a chance to see them. The world has been destroyed. I don't think that there was any, and I would love to see a sequel where it's just like a apocalyptic world a little bit. Like, there's still like suburbia, but like it's also kind of like the end of the world, and they're just trying to live a suburban lifestyle within the end of the world, which would be kind of fun.
That would be hilarious. Yeah, they're the only people left on the planet or whatever. But it seems like it's the funny part, like the ironic part, is that they've grown together a little bit as a family after going through the events of this film, but the world has been destroyed. So who gives a shit?
Right. I love this line too. So this TV won't stop bleeding. When the dad picks up the TV and it's just, and Psycho Goreman just like talks to a TV, and he's like able to like talk
the
intergalactically. Yeah. I mean, just like, again, making up, like, anytime they need to move the story forward, they just make up some power or some attribute or something, and that allows Psycho Goreman to just go on to wherever next, needs to be,
because like, at the end of the day, I mean, it's kind of making a commentary that those details aren't important to the story. What's important are the characters. The characters are the most important thing. And if you have characters that people care about, you can invent, you can talk through a TV to the other side of the galaxy and contact somebody, and they'll be fine with it as long as they're on board with the characters in the story that's been presented to them. So I'm 100%, because I've tried to write stories and screenplays before where I'm like, how do they do this? I have to set it up beforehand, and that way when they do this, it makes sense.
Me too.
Like, do we really have to do that every time though? Like, come on.
No, you don't. And I think we would all be better screenwriters. And I'm saying this a very generalized statement. I'm not talking about you or me in particular. I'm just saying in general, because I feel like a lot of people struggle with this. I don't feel out of place making this as a blanket statement. I feel we would all be better off if we, didn't, or weren't necessarily chained to the why of it all, which is something that is, always suggested. Well, why? What's the urgency? What's the agency for doing this or doing that? Or even for ourselves. Like, I need to know why this, I need to understand how this works in order for me to believe it so that I can write about it. And maybe, maybe that's just not necessary. Maybe we could just go, okay, and then, what is it? Deus ex machina, whatever, the god of the machine just comes down and drives the plot forward, and that's it.
Yep.
So I don't know. But this was absolutely worth a blind buy. If you are interested in buying Psycho Goreman, you can actually do so. You could buy the kind of copy that Nate has directly from my website via this little link right here. And when you do that, you are supporting the movie, and I also get a little pocket money. So you're supporting the channel. I'm going to put that right here. Boom.
Awesome.
So when you go to frumess.com and then you go right here, I'm going to put it in the link.
Sweet.
And you click on this link right here. Sorry. Click on this link right here. Look, shop now. Boom. That brings you to Psycho Goreman. I get a little commission, and you get to buy the movie and support it. So consider buying Psycho Goreman. You can do so right here. I just put it in the chat. I will put it in the other thing as well. So in the description.
Highly recommended for purchase. I can't wait to. I wish I had time to watch the movie with commentary, but that's my next thing to do. I can't wait to do that.
There's like 3 of them. There's 3 commentaries. I'm like,
yeah,
can't wait to dive into these. Like truly,
2 hours of bonus features. So it's a shame that we don't get more bonus features. A lot of the big films, they don't do that anymore, and it's really sad. It's a collector's market now for physical media. That's all it is. And, you're getting bonus features on the smaller films, which is great. But I miss being able to buy those double DVDs of all the big films, and the second disc with all bonus features.
Wasn't that the best?
And
that was the best.
They just don't. Apparently, regular people don't like that stuff. And what does that even mean? Like,
but that's why we're so fortunate at the same time. Like, that sucks that it's no longer mainstream. But us guys, we have never lived in a better time where we have these boutique labels that are really catered to us, that are giving us, packaging like this, and, putting these sets together for us to revel over and pour over. And I'll tell you, someone gave me as a gift, I know you'll appreciate this, I just inherited it is not an official release. But I already own the official release, so I feel okay talking about it. It's Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair.
Wow. Like the actual cut, not just both movies smushed together.
I don't know what it is, to be honest with you, Nate. I have to explore it. Here's what I think it is. It's 4 hours and 3 minutes. I think it is a fan edit using all of the elements available from the Japanese release and like all these different releases and all the bonus stuff that available. All of it has been put into here to replicate The Whole Bloody Affair as close as possible. Because Quentin Tarantino has said apparently he will never release The Whole Bloody Affair. It's never coming out.
Well, he's not going to release the roadshow version of The Hateful Eight either, because he was like, you either go to the movie to see it or you're not going.
Yes,
you're not going to see it.
Right, you have to go to the what is it? The Beverly in what is it called? His cinema in
the New Bev. Yeah,
the New Bev. You have to, if you want to see Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, you have to be in LA when it's playing at the New Bev on his personal print, which he has, which there's only 1 of or 2 of in the whole world. And that's the only way you're ever going to get to see The Whole Bloody Affair. So I actually am kind of grateful. Again, always support the art and the artist. And again, if you don't own Kill Bill 1 and 2, you should own it no matter what, as the creator intended it. However, if if someone gives you a copy of The Whole Bloody Affair, you damn well straight better believe I'm going to freaking accept it and watch the shit out of it. I'm super excited to see what it is. And Scott, it's like a Blu-ray. It's a thing. I'll take a picture of it. It's a whole thing. It's not like a file. It's a release. It's somebody put this together. It's a fan edit of some kind. And I'm very excited to see how it's the one thing that kind of bums me out, it's not in full HD. It's 720.
Okay.
Which I think they did that on purpose. They went down a steps to make everything sort of
fit together. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what it looks like. And I don't know how to watch it. I'm like thinking I should project it outside on my projector. like on the just the digital, the projector, and not watch it by myself. I feel like I need to watch it with people. So I'm trying to figure out how I can but the other problem is it's hard to find people that want to watch a 4-hour, 3-minute movie.
I would. I mean,
I know you would. I wish you lived closer.
If you watch it and it's the real deal, I will rent it from you. Yeah.
I listen, I will report back. I will report back to you when I see it. I'm going to send you a picture of the front and the back of the disc, because I think you of all people would appreciate this. I just feel like that's just why I'm explaining it to you right now.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. Tell me, so real quick as we wrap up here, so what's going on with the film, the big film? You guys have done the crowdsourcing thing is complete, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? What's going on now?
So crowdfunding is done. We are dispersing funds as we speak to the directors to get them started and off and running. Directors are working pre-production right now, finishing casting, working on their scripts.
Beautiful.
We are in the thick of it. Very exciting. I'm kind of just in producer mode now, along with Samantha Koyesnik, and we're just making sure everybody needs what they need and get what they get. So we're in the easy mode right now until we start shooting. So pre-production is going to go along pretty smoothly. Locations are locked pretty much. So we're just wait until everything falls into place in order to get this thing going. I'm going to try to go to almost every set possible and be there for them in person for each shoot. It's kind of exciting. It's going to be like a whirlwind tour of each. You
have to do like a Hitchcock cameo in all however many stories. Just like you turn like you're like this.
Mm-hmm.
Just like something like that. Is Jeremy for Jeremy's segment? He was going to shoot in a theme park or attempt to. Is that still happening, or is that not going to go down?
Yes, I think he did score a theme park. I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Okay. Understandable. But
I think the deal was that as long as the film doesn't show what theme park it is, he's allowed to shoot there, which is pretty amazing.
I think that's awesome. And again, I'm so stoked for you guys. And I'll be watching from the bleachers, cheering you on, and I can't wait to see what comes out of it. I think it's gonna be really something great.
We can't wait to unleash this on everybody and show everybody, we can do movie too, and have a good time and be part of the feature film club. So that's exciting. I love it. And hit the festival circuit and try to get some cool distribution. So all that feels kind of far away, but it really isn't. Next year we'll be doing all that stuff. So hoping to have
a good time.
Yeah.
You picked a good time to it's good that it's happening now and not a year ago. This is like,
yes,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's the perfect time. So,
we, that's a funny story because Samantha and I and a couple other guys, like Mike Lombardo and John Hale, we were working on an anthology. I guess I can talk about it now because it's never going to happen. We were working on a horror anthology, the four of us, and we're getting ready to start pre-pro, and then the pandemic hit. And then we just were like, never mind, we're not going to go through with this. So I think some of the other filmmakers might do a solo project for each of their stories, and I'm kind of turning mine into a feature screenplay. But we were close. We were very close there for a minute. And instead, we decided to do Worst Laid Plans. And I think it's we're better. Everybody's better for it in the long run. So,
heck, frig yeah.
Frig yeah, frig off.
Frig yeah, frig off. Well, that's awesome. I'd like to thank my guest, Nathan, so much. Nathan, I'm sure we'll be at some point. Oh, yeah, we'll definitely be talking some Tom Arnold in the future. I can't wait for that. That's going to be
oh my gosh,
a good time.
You're going to do the Birdcage too, right?
Oh my God, can I do the Birdcage? Because I fucking want the Birdcage so bad.
You're on the Birdcage. And,
okay. You just made me the happiest man in the world.
We want to see you if you can make it out. We want to see you at Genreblast too this year, please.
Dude, every year since I came, I'm always like, I'm going to go to Genreblast, and there's always just some bullshit that gets in the way. But you want to know something? as of right now, I'm unemployed and I don't have a job. And so therefore there really is no reason not to try and make it out to Genreblast. I cannot wait to get back to Genreblast. I hope that it is this year. And no matter what, I totally forgot. I just realized I submitted to Genreblast this year. Totally forgot about it. I did. I totally forgot about it. But that's just how much I just want to, I don't care. I just want to support no matter what. So either way, but listen, we'll be in touch. Thank you so much for taking your time to do this. We're going to stay on our time budget because it's a work night, and I appreciate you. I appreciate, we're both dads, and being up late, it's not easy. It's just not an easy thing to do. So
hashtag dad life. Yep.
Hashtag dad life. Nathan, thank you so much. It's been another wonderful episode. Check out my link. I think I put some of Nathan's links. You could check out Genreblast Film Festival in the description here. And you could check out Nathan's Real 96 podcast in the description as well. And keep your eyes peeled for Worst Laid Plans, which is an anthology film coming out soon. As we always say, peace and hair grease.